Now, before we go on, let me just remind you there's no purpose to cheating. You can get all these answers wrong. This is what I call a low stakes assignment. The important thing is that you've done it and you've tried it because you learn by making mistakes. Okay, but let's look at question number 3. That is the expression after all a premise indicator, a conclusion indicator, or does it indicate neither, that a premise or a conclusion is about to follow? And the star next to it means that the answer can be found in the back of the book. So if you're doing some additional exercises, if you're working on these, you can always see how you're doing by looking at the back of the book. Now, don't go to the back of the book before you even try to do it. You're not going to learn anything by it. You learn by trying, and you learn by making mistakes and figuring out why you made mistakes. Okay, so let's try to think of an example where you use after all something, after all something else. Well, here's one I came up with. Drugs should be legal. After all, drug users only harm themselves. So it looks like after all, what comes after all, drug users only harm themselves. It looks like that's supporting the claim that a person would make, which should say drugs should be legal. Thus, or as a result, it looks like after all, not only will you find it on the list, but you see after all indicates that what it's coming after is a reason for what came before. In other words, it indicates that a premise. So that is a premise indicator. Let's go on to number 4. If and only if. Little tougher. And remember, don't start cheating and looking at the list. It's good. The list is a guideline, but the two lists, premise indicators and conclusion indicators, are to teach you what words are. But let's think of a context where we use if and only if. Here's a good one. John is a brother if and only if John is a male sibling. Now, if and only if is kind of an expression that tells you that, in all cases where the first statement is true, the second statement is true, and in all cases where the second statement is true, the first one is also true. However, it's not indicating that one is a reason for the other, or one is something that follows, a claim that follows if you accept the first one. So this if and only if is neither a premise nor a conclusion indicator.